Hello, welcome back to SoulSchool. I'm Theolyn Cortens, and in this video I'm going to be talking about law of creation number 4, which is the law of regulation. I hope you've seen the other videos in the series, the introduction, the first law, divine contract, the second law, divine investment, the third law, divine mystery. And all those divine laws, those 3, are kind of tucked away in the invisible realms. But it's when we come to law number 4 that we have to encounter the material world and its realities, its laws of nature. And we encounter the rules of the game of life. And whenever you want to create anything, you will have to abide by certain rules. As creative people move through life, they often bend the rules, or they find ways to get around them. But those rules are there all the same, and they can feel sometimes very limiting. I have this wonderful vision. How on earth am I going to manifest this? I mentioned Sam Wanamaker in an earlier video, who wanted to create a reproduction, a reinvention, a recreation of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre in London. What a vision that was. How do you do that? So you go to an architect, you lay out your plots and your plans, you work out what it's going to cost. Money is one of the key factors in manifesting things. Money and other resources. And you always have to measure the situation. If I was making a dress, as I often did in my dressmaking days, then I would have to measure the piece of cloth. I could go 2 ways about this. I could say I want to make this kind of frock, it's my vision, and therefore have I got a piece of fabric that's big enough to do that? Or I could look in my fabric store and say, that piece of fabric is such and such a length of yards or meters. What can I make with that? Because I like the fabric and it could make something nice. But I'm still dealing with the law of regulation, because those limits that are placed on me and other creatives will always come back down to what are the resources. And that's not to say that the capacity of the resources that you've already got can't be quite surprising. One of the very famous Jewish tales is how their synagogue was taken over by people who were destructive, didn't like what they were up to, and demolished their altars and their space, and put out their sacred light. And when they managed to get their synagogue back, their temple as it was called in those days, they found that there was very, very little oil left to keep the light burning. And they thought it would run out really quickly. And then it lasted for 8 days. And that is why Jewish people to this day celebrate Hanukkah, which is roughly the same time as the winter solstice, because it's a celebration of finding that sometimes your resources will go further than you expect. So if you want to create something or manifest something or make an event happen, you start from that place. You start from the spreadsheet. You go to Excel or work out what the funds are that are required. Or you go to the architect and say, this is the size of the piece of land that I've got. Or I need to do this garment, or I need to wallpaper this wall. And all of those involve the law of regulation. I'm very fond of telling the story, retelling the story of Jason. Jason in Greek mythology was on a mission to find and reclaim the golden fleece, which was the fleece that had been taken from a magical golden ram created by the god Zeus. And Jason couldn't reclaim his title to his land unless he got this fleece back. And the fleece is on an island hanging from a tree, and the tree is guarded by a non-sleeping dragon. So this is Jason's task, it's his purpose. He's got to do this, he's got to get his kingdom back. Now, how is he going to do this? He's got to sail across the Mediterranean to find the island. So he requires a boat. So the law of regulation says that, now here you are, Jason, how are you going to build your boat? So he goes around and he collects sailors and helpers, and he gets all the wood together for a ship, which is called the Argo. And the sailors are called the Argonauts. But without doing that process, he can't even set off on his journey, which is long and complicated. And I'll probably mention it again in this series. So when you want to set off, what are the rules that you've got to attend to? The rules in the social order, the rules of money, the rules of timetables for working or getting educated, the qualifications you might need in order to step into a particular social arena or profession. All those things have got to be considered. So that's the law of regulation, and it sometimes can feel like it gets in your way. These rules will get in your way and you'll be boxed in and you won't be able to do what you want to do. But if you've got the purpose, there's usually, possibly not always, but usually a way through. And rules can be a little bit bendy sometimes, a little bit soft at the edges. And you don't always have to conform to everything. So you never give up. You say, oh, there's that rule there, but perhaps there's some way of disengaging with it and coming at the problem from another angle, another perspective. So, law of regulation. I'll come back again very shortly with the next law number 5, which will be the law of guidance. Look forward to seeing you. Don't forget to get in touch with me. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube series. Don't forget to subscribe to the website. Theolyn at theolyn.com is my email address. Website, subscribe, theolyn.com. See you soon.